Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Real Talk Atlanta. We are your favorite hosts, Ashley LeRae,
Taisha Renee,
Nika W,
and River the Realtor.
Yes, and today we are coming to you with another episode within this 3-part series where we're talking about, is Atlanta a good city to sell your home right now? How is the market here? But before we even take a deep dive into that, I wanted to remind you guys, because we never say it at the beginning, be sure to follow us on all platforms and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Real Talk Atlanta.
Download.
Yes. You don't want to miss an episode, so be sure to subscribe and follow us, and also our personal pages. So that will be in the description. So for today's episode, I wanted us to talk about, is Atlanta, what the seller's market is like here. Is Atlanta a good city to sell your home right now? Because there's a shift. And there's a shift going on, but it's still a seller's market. So, I kind of wanted to dive into that because the last 2 episodes we've talked about what it's like for buyers and real estate agents. But what about the current homeowners?
Yeah. I read an article, and I think the best way they described it is we're still in the seller's market. We're just going from a chaotic market for sellers to a more modest market. But if you are a seller, it's still the time. Top dollar is still available for you. And we're here to help you get it.
Absolutely. Because a year ago, the seller's market was crazy. You were seeing homes selling for 20, 30, 40, 50,000 over asking price. And now I feel like it's just kind of stabilizing. But you can still get top dollar.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. That PPP money.
That PPP money for real.
Yeah, so we're seeing a major shift where it's kind of benefiting buyers, but this is still a great time for current sellers to kind of maximize on their home,
For sure. I feel like sellers right now, just given my personal experience, I saw that the seller purchased their house for $180, and now she's selling it for over $300,000.
Whoa.
And she bought it in 2020.
Wow. Yeah.
So yes. I feel like Atlanta's just a good city, period, for everything. But again, it's a good city for sellers. So I'm like, dang, you're making a lot of money over a 2-year time period. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And one thing I always tell people, yes, it was really, really crazy. When we were in the heat of it, if you're getting, we're getting those emails unfortunately, we have 40 offers on this property. But what I always tell people is, imagine this, right? Let's say now you're getting 2 offers on the property. All those same 40 buyers are still looking for homes in this market, right? So there's just a little bit less to deal with, I even think, for a seller. You don't have to comb through and sort through all those offers. But I mean, a lot of people are still wanting to buy. So if you have a home to sell, it's not like the buyers just completely were washed away.
Right.
There's just more inventory.
And a lot of sellers didn't even like that. They didn't even like having multiple offers.
A lot of
they
work.
Didn't like all the foot traffic in their homes. So
especially
now
if they live there.
Yeah, and if you're still living there, for sure. So I think now it's kind of okay, well, maybe we don't have 40 people coming in throughout the entire day. Maybe it's just 2 on the weekend.
Right.
But at least we have an offer and we're getting the profit that we are looking for.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good, because like you said, last year we were seeing where a listing may have 40 offers on it, and now we may see maybe 2 offers within a couple days, and that's still fine. That doesn't mean that your home isn't going to sell for top dollar just because there's 2 offers after a week. I literally went under contract on a home last week, and 2 days on the market, we put an offer in at asking price, and that was that. There were no other offers, so ours got accepted.
I feel like as a seller right now, the way the market is going is just you just can't be greedy. You just have to think fair. Put yourself in the buyer's shoes right now. Interest rates are a little bit higher than what it was last year, which was made the chaos last year, right? So now that everybody's on their right mentality and right mindset, it's just now it has to be fair. You can't just do anything, just put your house any type of way and expect it to appraise and expect people to pay overpriced for it just because it's no longer that. So what I want sellers to really grab is just now you really have to put an effort to sell your home to get your maximum profit.
That's
it
the
can
big
be
one.
That is. I keep my word right now. I'm saying the market's just kind of stabilizing. It's not crashing. You hear a lot of buyers say that, and sellers get scared. Yeah, that's not necessarily
Fake
true.
news.
Very fake news. What I think it is, though, is last year sellers, they were kind of taking advantage of the market and overlisting their homes. You knew it wasn't gonna,
and
it's not valued.
That.
Exactly.
They can do that.
But now kind of with the market, prices are looking a little bit more realistic. You're not gonna overlist a home with the prices. So that's why I think you may see a decrease in price, but it's not necessarily that the prices are going down. They're just being priced more realistically.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because people are like, oh, the prices are dropping. No, baby, that's where they should have been in the first place.
Exactly.
They just tried it.
They tried it, and it was cute. It was really cute.
Yeah.
It's over.
It was fun while it lasted. Well, it wasn't fun.
It wasn't
Because the market is always, when I'm in the classes, it's like the market is always like what buyers are willing to pay for. It always go back to what buyers are willing to pay for. Last year with the interest rate, buyers were willing to pay a little bit more because they had a little bit more cash to play with, especially with the PPP loan.
The PPP.
Right, but now interest rates are going up, budgets is a little tight.
Biden ain't giving out no check.
Okay. So now you kind of have to do what you have to do to sell your home, which means, contributing to a little bit of closing costs if you can. Kind of look things in a bigger picture.
Right.
Being fair as far as like repairs. Last year, I swear, sellers were like,
they wasn't fixing nothing.
because we have like 20 other buyers waiting for backup.
Take it or leave it. Go on
Take it or leave it.
Strike is crazy.
I wanted to start a union and go on strike against these sellers last year. This is ridiculous. And I think you make a good point. I think this shift in the sellers market is only affecting the ones who did not want to do right in the first place. So the sellers who are like, hey, I'm going to put my home on the market as is with the dust balls in the corner and little Tyrone's drawings on the wall. Like, come on, Stink. Like, you didn't have to treat us like that. And those are the ones that I think are experiencing the shift. You can't just put anything on the market now and expect top dollar. If you want to put anything on the market, that's cool, and I still feel like because it's a selling market, it will sell, but you're not going to get that profit that you want. You actually have to put the work in and do it the right way when you list your home now, because you ain't the only home on the market.
The ball is no longer in your court.
Okay, because buyers now have options.
It's for sure.
Now it's
not
like you either accept my offer or I'm going to put an offer on this other house. What are we doing here?
Yeah, the ball is not in your court, but it's at your house.
Yeah, it's at your house.
At your house.
They might want it, but
And I want to get into that why buyers have an advantage right now. But I will say right now I noticed in the market is that, how can I put this? It's been a little, with the interest rates going up, it has kind of knocked out certain buyers who wouldn't necessarily or normally get approved, right? So it's kind of changed the pool of buyers that we have now. So that's why it's an advantage for them, because there's a little bit less buyers. Not everyone can qualify for a home. So that's kind of...
The buyers that we have right now are not as desperate, I feel like. They have the money. They know that, I have to be strategic because the interest rates are high. So they're really looking at their mortgage. So they're not as desperate because they know that they're able to buy right now.
Last year was the Hunger Games.
For real. For real.
Gotta get a house.
For real. But I think that's also like an advantage to sellers too, because I remember in the market, sellers were kind of scared. That's why the inventory was so low. Sellers were scared to put their homes on the market because where are you going to live?
Right.
But now that the market is stabilizing, now you can put your home on the market and there's going to be another good option out there for you, whether you're staying in Atlanta or, you're moving out of state or whatever, or you're new construction, you're building, you kind of have that capacity now where you don't have to feel that like, oh my God, like where I want to make this profit, but where am I going to live?
Right.
Because now you can find somewhere to live. So it's a benefit for you.
That's
for
why it's good for sellers. Yeah.
That's
because,
a good point.
Yeah, with the limited buyers or people who are able to qualify for a home, I feel like sellers can be a little bit more picky as far as who they're choosing to accept an offer with. Yeah, that's my biggest thing.
Yeah, and I think one thing we kind of talked about was like knocking out that kind of buyer pool. Something I've been seeing a lot of with the interest rates going up in comparison to last year, even though they are normal now, they are higher, and so a lot of people have been offering that rate buy down, and that's
I have not seen that, but
Me neither.
Construction, some of the new constructions have been
I
saying,
can't wait to put that in the contract.
We can give you this interest rate.
I've been seeing
I've
that.
seen
but
that.
I didn't say we're like buying it down.
No,
for
I have
them.
a new construction. He said if you up the price on if you up the price of your contract, we'll be willing to give you more incentives based on how much. For example, if you up the price $5,000, we'll give you $5,000 in closing costs. And basically, what that means is like you can use that money towards to buy down your interest rate.
Because when the money is bundled into your loan, I always tell people $10,000 today and $10,000 over the lifetime of your loan, which is 30 years, is like maybe adding 30 or 40 bucks a month.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
It's not a lot.
It's even that. Like, it may be a lot lower. So I think there are incentives. And like I said, that interest rate buy down, that interest rate, if you were toggling that $200, $250 pre-approval with the low interest rate, but it going up to 6%,
That might even lower.
Exactly.
We don't have no houses for you in that price.
The inventory is so trash. Oh my gosh. But I will say, yeah.
Just in that price point. Because,
in that price
like
point,
I said,
we have no homes.
Yeah.
That's good because for sellers, that means that you're still appreciating.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's appreciating. So you got to know, like, in that price point, when we say there's no inventory, it's just nothing that is really like good, good quality home, like ready to get in. But as investors in that price point, now your home, whether it's distressed or not, you still have that value that you can sell it as is.
I'm glad you mentioned appreciating too, because that's a big thing as far as like the value of homes. The prices are still going up. They're not decreasing per se. So for sellers, that's a good thing because obviously if their property values are going up, they can still get a good return on their home.
Right.
That's a really big thing. But they also still need to be flexible and kind of pivot with the way the market's changing. If they need to offer closing costs or offer to buy down the buyer's interest rate, that's really good.
So if you're making a 6-figure profit and all you have to do is give up $3,000 or $4,000 to really make a deal work, and that just kind of makes sense.
That really is worth it.
Let's not be greedy.
Yeah, right.
Because you let it sit on the market, you're gonna get a lower price than that.
Yeah, the longer it sits on the market, the lower offer price that people.
I love when my clients
see it, it's on market for 4 days or
7 days, 10 days.
We're going up
2 weeks.
We ain't got no offer.
You ain't got no
under.
We taking a risk at that point. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they can still maximize even if it still has been sitting on the market. And that's another thing for sellers now. Don't get scared just because it's been sitting on the market for 2 days and you're like, oh my gosh, my house is not selling. That's not the case. You have to be patient,
So, ladies, what can we tell our sellers? Like 4 things that could help you sell your property for top dollar right now in this market that we're seeing.
First thing that comes to my head, call one of us.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Because listen, I'm gonna be really honest, that for sale by owner thing, unless you have like some deeply rooted interest or understanding of the real estate market, I feel like you do yourself a disservice by not calling a professional in here to get stuff done, right? We see the market, we know what is selling, and we still know how to navigate it.
Yeah.
Excuse me, even though the market is shifting and the market is changing, we wake up every day, do real estate, so we know what's working, we know what's not working, we know how to get those correct buyers to come in for you and do what needs to be done. Like, we know what a finished product needs to look like to go on the market, sell in a good amount of time, and get the profits that you want. I tell people all the time, we don't see a check until you do.
Okay,
so
we don't. Just as bad as you want.
So we're working on your behalf to make sure that you get top dollar and that it's done right. No stress on you. Like, use a realtor.
Right, and not an iBuy.
Yeah, and we still want to make record. Listen, go back to that episode because that's true. The iBuy is going to even get you a lower profit because then they're not going to make a profit. But anyway, that takes back to us, like a realtor, is as far as like what we do for you guys. You don't know the best videographer or photographer that's out there to make sure that your home looks how it's supposed to attract buyers, because the first impression is everything.
Exactly.
First thing they look at is photography.
The pictures.
Yeah,
and the
that's
The
pictures.
pictures look bad. It's like, oh my God. They don't want to go see that
wanna
house.
go see it
Yeah.
They don't want to see
Have
it.
y'all ever seen homes where the photography is bad, but you know because we've just been doing it?
Yes,
so long.
yes.
And I try to tell my clients, like, I know this looks crazy, but this is a good home.
Yeah.
Like,
Buyers can't visualize it how we
Yeah.
can. You have to make a buyer want to like picture themselves in your home.
Right.
And the only way to do that is to have that photography, that videography.
I
sure.
look at homes and I'm like, man, if they would have hired me, that house would have been sold. But now you got iPhone pictures, vertical, you can't see
got your
anything but a
dog running on the
toilet. I mean,
your kids
see the
playing
big
out.
right? Like,
I literally saw one photographer or listing agent. They did, what's that thing on your phone where it scans the whole room?
The pan.
The panorama. I was like,
Y'all,
bro, you can see the
y'all,
whole house
y'all.
just in one.
Okay, let's talk about something right now. It literally should be illegal for y'all to get those iPhones and pan it, and then y'all don't even keep your arms straight. Y'all have
It's
the
like
nerve
crooked.
to be moving, and now the picture look like
Crazy.
Get the right marketing. Like you said, first impressions are everything. So if the very first thing that I see is a picture of you panning the room with the dog running across, like, I don't even want to deal with you because now I know how you do business.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's
Exactly.
a time to hire realtors or really to give you a good product. It's really going to service you in the best interest, because this is not the market for you to just play around, just put anything out. You
Of
can't.
course. Yeah.
Right. And you got to hire a realtor that's willing to like put in the work, because when it was a fast market, you didn't need an open house. You didn't need a broker's open. But now you need an open house. Like, you need a broker's opening. You need someone who's going to actually put in the efforts to host these things, because it does take time.
And money.
And it takes more money to do it, but you kind of have to if you want to get more footprint in the house.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think on top of that, another thing, we kind of touched on it earlier, but like one of the best tips, don't put your house on the market looking any type of way. You actually have to put your house on the market the same way you will want to see a house that you were buying now.
Yes.
All of that holes in the wall. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing
The
that.
paint.
This is not that type of
Dirty
time no
carpet.
Yeah. Oh, that dirty carpet be pissing me off.
With the
Just
smell
get
on
that
it.
thing
You have the
deep
Yeah.
smell. You can have like, that's really like a small expense. You can go ahead.
Yes,
get the carpet.
get
Little touch up paint. Like, it doesn't take much if you don't want to do major repairs.
And even if your home is in a certain condition, at least be open, because as a buyer, you have to think what buyer is going to want to purchase a home and come in like that. So if your home, if your home is in a certain type of condition, at least be open to offering the buyer some type of closing costs to cover things like that. Yeah, for sure. My biggest piece of advice would be for sellers right now to be patient, because we just came from a market shift where before homes were selling 1 day, 2 days on the market, and now homes are sitting for a little bit longer. But that doesn't mean that you're not going to sell for top dollar. So
I just closed on a house that literally was on the market for 75 days.
Whoa!
How much did you offer?
I'm not gonna lie. This is the thing, and I gotta respect the listing agent, because he was like, I'm gonna be real honest. We not desperate. He knows what the house was worth. It was a really beautiful home too, and I couldn't argue with him. I didn't see no reason, and it appraised at value. Like,
Wow.
He was like, we're not desperate. We understand the market. It sat on the market for 75 days, and my client loved that house.
Yeah.
Asking price, he was like, we're asking what it is worth. And if you don't want to do that, I get that, but
We're
You're
not
not accepting nothing less. And that's a good listing agent.
And they also, like, even with the little stuff, like, there was some, like the grass on the wall was kind of like, he wanted it trimmed, couple fixes. They were open to doing the repairs. It was just a really, really good transaction, but he made it very clear, like, I know the house been sitting on the market, but my clients are not desperate. They live elsewhere, but they put a lot of love into this house, and the house is worth what we asking for. It's not like we asking for astronomical amount of money.
Yeah.
No, we're asking for what it is, and it was 75 days, but we closed at the full asking
Oh, that's
price.
awesome.
My friends is a good agent.
That's
awesome.
Yeah, get your realtor that's not desperate for commission too.
Right.
They're trying to make you sell it like, it's the best we got anybody.
Right. Because literally a year ago, if a house was sitting on the market for 75 days, we're like, they must have ghosts. They must be haunted. Like, something is wrong.
They doing mad.
In the attic.
Right. But it's not really like that now. So you definitely want to be patient and be open-minded as a seller right now.
Yeah, I think the money is going to come. You just have to let it come to you guys, because I have a listing right now back home in Chicago that it's just not moving.
Yeah, I was like, that wasn't in the group chat.
But it's just not selling at the speed we wanted to, and we did get an offer, but I just felt like it was not enough. Like, I felt like my client deserves more. Like, I feel like a realtor who's like real thirsty to have that money and stuff like that. Like, this is it. But
let's close.
I know with the patience, I think, my client is going to get the money that she's asking for, and I didn't feel like lowballing her. Like, that's just not fair.
Yeah. That's really good. Well, that's good. Well, now this is a segue into the best part, my favorite part, which is
question of the day.
I do kind of want to do a recap of everything we kind of talked about before we even get into that. So, like I said, with this seller's market, we're kind of shifting where before it was just all about the sellers. They were kind of had the upper hand, but now we're kind of seeing a stabilization within the market. So,
fair transactions.
What
is it? Arm's length transaction.
Arm's length. Yes. So, like we said, the biggest things that we want sellers to keep in mind if they're selling their home in Atlanta right now is to have your home prepared right before you list it. You want to make sure that it's kind of at the quality that you would want a buyer to expect. What were the other ones?
Have patience.
Have
patience, hiring the right realtor, making sure your marketing is top tier, and that your home is in good condition.
Right.
And one more thing I want to add to that, I think a lot of sellers need to pay attention to like how your specific area is developing.
Oh, that's
because
a good one.
as it develops, that's going to bring the buyers. And if you see like a lot of Amazons or Microsofts and all that good stuff coming,
take advantage of that.
It's probably your time to take advantage of the market for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's another thing about hiring that realtor. Y'all don't know the market like that. No offense.
Call me.
Yeah, like we just gonna make sure you get it done, because I don't know. I think it's like we said, buyer, seller, realtor, whatever you're trying to do in real estate, this is the right place to do it.
Because people are still moving here. People
Atlanta
are still
is
relocating.
It is,
Atlanta
right?
is lit.
It's not slowing down at all.
Period for nobody. All gas, no brakes, baby.
So funny. So yes, on to my favorite part of the show, which is the question of the day.
Who?
Yes.
With me, Ashley LeRae,
Yeah.
a realtor. Saying that.
Look, what day we gonna get you to call yourself Realtor Bay?
She hates it.
It's
but
gonna take a couple more
It should
glasses
be
of
living
wine.
with you at this point. You should be okay with it.
Yes. So as a reminder, be sure to send us your questions. It can be real estate related or personal to our Instagram at Real Talk Atlanta or via email at realtalkatl@gmail.com. So for today's question, I kind of want to like set the mood. So let's see. Just imagine, let's say we're all out. You're out with your girls, right? You're at a fine dining restaurant. I want to know, what would y'all order for your drink?
For my drink, my alcoholic beverage?
Yes.
A lemon drop.
Okay.
Strawberry lemon drop. Sugar on the ram.
A lemon drop.
I love lemon drops.
I love a good lemon
But
drop.
you know, some people do it with vodka or tequila. What are y'all going with?
I like tequila. I hate
Tequila.
vodka. I will do vodka sometimes as a mixed drink, but I'm gonna prefer tequila.
Really? I love
Yeah.
tequila too.
Vodka
I
is
could-
so high school.
Y'all know.
you were drinking vodka underage? Wait a minute.
You know.
That's what you heard. That's
Underage
what I
drinking.
heard.
I think she meant college.
Oh my god! I love
Honestly, y'all know I'm the black sheep of the group. I'm ordering a Hennessy.
The brown
sidecar.
sheep.
I'm the brown sheep. I'm the brown sheep. Because I'm gonna get a Hennessy sidecar.
He didn't make me sick.
Y'all also know I always do a bottle of champagne for the table. I love a
You
good.
sure do.
Yeah.
We love the
Champagne
champs.
level.
So I'm
Yeah.
doing the bottle of rosé, and then I'm gonna do the Hennessy sidecar to take us out.
Okay, I like that.
Not the Hennessy sidecar.
Can't stand Hennessy.
What
I
is
can't
in
do nothing
that?
brown.
I've never heard of Hennessy sidecar.
I've made you one before.
Oh, have you? You've made some
Rita.
great.
It must not have been good. She didn't remember.
Oh no, she
She
made
makes so
great
good that she doesn't remember.
Yes, it was so good. You didn't give me the name at that point.
That's it. I just come over and get the drinks.
A little
What about you,
cocktail.
Ash?
Me, I definitely love red wine. So my biggest thing, I love like a glass of Malbec. That's my favorite thing. But I could do a lemon drop too. I love lemon drops and I love
doing a Hennessy
tequila.
lemon drop if
I
that's
never
it.
get wine when I'm out, but I love wine at home. I feel like they be taxing. I can get a bottle of
Yeah,
wine.
oh,
that
for
glass
sure.
of
That's
wine.
true.
And
Yeah.
I get the vibes, but
Sometimes the bottle be cheaper than the glass. If
yeah,
you
you
order a
might.
couple
If you
glasses.
remember when we went
That's
out, we
why
got
I
the
always
bottle
get
because
it.
the bottle's a better
If
value.
you get it filtered.
Yeah,
try to be
no
bougie.
filter.
Ooh.
If I get
air
wine,
it.
we definitely get in the bottle.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm real
sure.
bougie, and I like that about you.
Keep it classy.
Yes. So that wraps up our episode for today. Be sure, like I said in the beginning, to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow all of our platforms. And we will see you guys next week.
Yep.
Thank
See
you
you guys. Thank you
Bye.
for watching.